Every day, more than 17 veterans take their own lives. By building a gaming community that offers peer-to-peer counseling, GameCore is aiming for zero. Research shows that playing video games together offers social connection, stress relief, cognitive enhancement, and community building. On our Discord server, veterans, active duty service members, and supporters chat and game together. Some casual gaming sessions might only involve 2 or 3 people, while other events might include larger groups and be streamed on the GameCore Twitch channel. Most of the time, there is a GameCore member available to lend an ear to anyone who needs it. Join the Discord server. It's free. We are an inclusive community and we don't require anything of our members. If you want to be more involved, there are always opportunities to volunteer.
All right, everyone, welcome to our Wednesday night series here in the IWM Broadcast Network. Tonight, we are at the Glen for the Go Bowling at the Glen on the Tech4Troops Cup Series here. I'm Rick Sousa here in the booth with Noah Evans. And Noah, this is just a couple of races left before we move into the playoffs, and we're at a road course.
Yeah, like a lot of league schedules, a lot of the more treacherous and technical tracks come at the end of the regular season just to kind of show who's the best at kind of these oddities. And not to say Watkins Glen isn't an oddity, but it's more so of one of the fastest road courses in America. I mean, we're seeing times going on right now, sub 110s. So definitely one of the fastest tracks on this schedule. And as we get down here, these guys are going to be hungry. We're going to see who's the more consistent driver, because you can be good on ovals all you want, but when it comes to these road courses, and as close to the end of this regular season that we're getting, you really have got to be on your toes to be good at tracks like this.
Absolutely. So just a minute, 20 seconds or so left of practice before we go into qualifying. Now, qualifying in here will take a while. It does take about just over a minute, as we've talked about, to get around the track. So qualifying will take a few minutes longer than typical, but we'll really begin to see that differentiator between the regular oval drivers who have great success to those drivers who really love the road courses.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find a couple road course ringers in here tonight.
We've got 36 drivers tonight.
Wow.
We've got, and of course, that's going to make things difficult. Why don't we talk about what the keys are for tonight's event, because that's going to be certainly an issue.
Yeah, patience definitely is going to be one of the things that we're going to see guys run out of a lot at road courses. You really got to time when you're going to pass somebody. I mean, you can pass them in a section you might not be as good at as he is, and you lose that spot immediately and have all that work done for nothing. So really timing when you're going to make your move is going to be really, really important to these guys. Consistency. These guys are going to have it. We see it all the time. Lap times go from a 109. You can run a 109. The next time you run a 113. So you're really going to have to kind of be in that 19, 110 range the rest of this race. And turn one, I don't think I need to say more. One of the tightest turns on the NASCAR calendar, and really just a really tough downhill corner, almost a blind corner for a lot of these guys. And we see guys like Jimmy Johnson, their crash in the Busch Series. So they're going to really have to be on their toes here and try to just take it easy down that long front straightaway.
Yeah, with over 36 drivers already entered, that turn one is going to be critical to make sure that you make it through there and begin to separate yourself from the drivers. But of course, to separate yourself best here is going to make yourself to put in a good qualifying run, because as you said, Noah, we're seeing times as breaking that 110 mark, 109 and change, all the way up to the 113s, 114. So even though that doesn't sound like a lot of delta between those times, well, this field can get spread out pretty quick.
Yeah, track position is definitely going to be everything here, and if you can hold on to that, it really is going to mean a lot for these guys who are kind of struggling in points. So we're going to keep an eye out on those guys. Here's Walker Thomas here. We saw him set a really good lap in practice. He set a 109.551, which I think was somewhere near the top of the board. He was second on the board, just a couple tenths slower, or 1/10 slower than Andrew Pileshi. You can see just how close those guys get to the outside wall there coming off the final turn down this long front straight, 150 miles an hour down into one, all the way down to 75 miles an hour. And the one thing that has changed with this track a lot is the track limits. You can't use as much of that runoff as you used to be just to carry a lot more speed, so they've really cracked down on that. He goes up through the S's there and getting ready to head into the bus stop corner.
Yeah, once he gets through that bus stop, he'll head down into the carousel as he makes his way towards the end of this first lap. Pretty solid through the bus stop there, Noah.
Yeah, really smooth, really consistent, and you're going to have to be really easy on the wheel. You can't just jerk these cars around. You have to kind of let the car drive itself in a way. You have to be fluid in your motions, and that's what we're seeing out of a guy like Walker Thomas right now. He's been that all season long, and he's no stranger to victory lane this season. So keep an eye out for Walker Thomas.
Starting to see some numbers come up. Let's see if we can get the... There you have it. He actually 109.68 for Walker Thomas right there.
Yeah, really good lap there. Going up through the gears. And those 5 gears that the next-gen car has definitely coming in handy. Road courses, you have a lot more room to work with your car gearing and setup. He's just a little bit ahead of Andrew Pileshi by about 0.3 of a second. We're going to see if Kyle Smiley and Justin Lewis. It's been an up and down season for him. He's come so close to victory. We saw it at Atlanta last week, just snatched from him, and unfortunately wasn't able to pull out the win there in a very chaotic triple overtime finish. And he goes through the bus stop here. And you can see, look how fast he's going through the entry there. Almost 100 miles an hour through 2 really tough corners on this racetrack. And we'll see what he can do here. And really good run for Justin Lewis. He's currently sitting in the 5th spot with a 110.2. We'll see if he can better that on his final lap.
So Jared Wishin may have had some issues in his qualifying effort. This may be a good time here, Noah.
Let's see what he can get here. And he will go 1:10.02, so he will not better that lap. Matthew Wood goes up to second. So 1:09.74, really good time there.
Yeah, it actually takes the pole right now.
Oh yeah, took 2/10 off of Walker Thomas's time. Wow.
Oh my gosh. That's
Fastest
huge.
lap today.
2/10 gained here at Watkins Glen. That's pretty amazing. All right, just a few drivers are left out there qualifying. Let's cover a number of other things in housekeeping that we've got to take care of. Let's talk about the race today.
All right. Go ahead.
All right, looks like we've got 40 laps today. Pit road speed is 40 miles per hour. As if you've watched this league before, you know that there are no quick repairs. So you've got to repair what you got or call it a day. There are 4 sets of tires. My guess that it will not be a factor with a 40-lap event. They do have 75% fuel, 3 green, white checkers. We probably will not use those here at Watkins Glen. The track length, if you're unfamiliar with the track, it's 2.42 miles, a relatively short track when you come to road courses per se. It's got a very unique, we don't run the full Watkins Glen track. There's a cutoff. We don't have what's called the boot. But other than that, you still get the same turns. You run through that start-finish line. You get into the notorious turn 1, as Noah explained about that earlier. You'll run through what we call the S's as we come up to the backstretch, through the bus stop, around the outer loop, through the carousel, and then back to the start-finish line.
Yeah, definitely a fun road course for sure. Very not tight is the word, but it's a very flowy racetrack. You can see there's not a whole lot of tight turns here, minus the bus stop. But the carousel is definitely where these guys. You see a lot of guys lose the rear end of their cars on the carousel, so rear end grip is definitely going to be something that these guys are going to have to watch out for as their run continues.
And I think it's one thing to do it when you're by yourself, but when you've got 36 plus other drivers out there, just double checking. 36 drivers, 35 others than yourself. It can get pretty hairy going through that bus stop. You may wind up going through potentially up to 2 wide.
It's definitely going to be really tough to navigate here on these first couple of laps, and that's usually when the most chaotic time is on any sort of restart here at Watkins Glen. So keep an eye out on any restarts that we may have, especially the start of this race. It's definitely going to be chaotic. That's probably the only time today you'll see very heavy pack racing.
All right, a couple other bits of housekeeping. We do know that Garrett Johnson will serve a drive-through penalty for an issue last week in Atlanta. And also we have Ryan Kendick, who is on track now. Hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. It may be misspelt and looks like Hendrick, but we'll look on the car and verify that spelling. Yep, it's Kendrick.
Kendrick, all right.
That's odd. Well, coming through differently on iRacing, it's spelled differently on his car. All being said, he is substituting today for Nathan Yarnell and making his way around. Most drivers have already made it through qualifying. Ryan's the last one on the track. Now, also, a number of drivers chose not to qualify. Marco Ruby, David Watts, David Brown, Matthew Greichen, Justin Horton, and Luke Bullard chose not to qualify. I mean, you certainly can do that. I mean, there's a lot to be said. You spoke about it in the keys to being consistency. And if you're not a super, star here on road courses, starting in the back is not a bad thing.
No, not at all. And honestly, it's some tracks that can provide an advantage. You can pick your way off through the pack and hang back a little bit, save your stuff, and when these guys start coming down pit road or slowing up a little bit, that's kind of your time that you can jump in. Look at him going over the S's, and boom, right into the wall there goes Kendrick. A big qualifying wreck there, unfortunately, but that's what we were talking about, finding the limit. You have to find your limit at these road courses and find just where your car is going to bite or unfortunately spin out like we just saw there. So keep an eye out on these guys trying to maintain control, and that's definitely the name of the game here at a road course of this caliber.
All right, we're just a little bit away. All right, lap, that's it for qualifying. Qualifying is over. As soon as we get some drivers who are ready to get out there in the grid, we will bring you the starting grid. Oh, here we go.
All right, here we go. Matthew Wood with a blazing fast pole time, fastest of the day across practice and qualifying. He will be starting on pole position as Walker Thomas to his outside. Then it's Andrew Pileshi, Zach Lindgren. They make up row 2. Row 3, Kyle Smalley and Justin Lewis in the 7 machine. Row number 4, Maxwell Caldwell and Aiden Lucas. Row number 5, Michael Anthony, Roberto Ramirez. And row number 6 is Jeremy Brown and Jared Wishon.
All right, in the 7th row, we've got Jordan Weaver in 13th, Ryan Kendrick to the outside in 14th, Chuck Van Scoik in 15th with Christoph Hall in 16th to his outside. Greg Stone is in 17th and Wyatt Gray in 18th. William Corinne in 19th and Ty Bostic in 20th. Sammy Harrow in 21st, John Ledger 22nd, Aaron Jackson 23rd, and Alex Laney in 24th.
25th, you got Cody Sturgill. 26th, Garrett Johnson. 27th, Ryan D. Cook. 28th, Phil Van Nortwick. 29th, Zachary Allen. 30th, Todd Merkel. 31st, Marco Berube. 32nd, David L. Brown. 33rd, Justin Horton. 34th, Matthew Gretchen. 35th, Luke Bullard. And rounding out this 36-car strong field is David Watts.
All right. Pace car is getting underway here. They start out pretty much coming through the carousel, which allows the pace car to drop off right at the pits, and we'll get this green flag underway.
All right, here we go. Down the Go Bowling front straightaway, it is race time in Watkins Glen, and we are green. And Matthew Wood is going to lead us down into turn 1. We'll see if we can get through it clean. Looks like so far so good. Oh, we already have a spin. We'll see if that may bring out a caution. We'll see if we can find who that is who spun around.
I think that's Aaron Jackson in 12. He spun as well as I believe the 64 of Cody Sturgill. Unfortunately, those are both GOAT Racing drivers who got tangled together there at the beginning of this event.
It's definitely not good for either of those guys, especially with point situations. Going back up front is Matthew David Wood through the bus stop. And look at this single file line of cars here. Like a school of fish running through here. Down in the carousel, coming off now through one of the more treacherous turns on this racetrack where it really narrows up. Not a lot of room for mistakes there.
Watching the battle here with Kyle Smalley, Zach Lindgren, and others as they navigate this first lap.
Like we will get through all clean. So Pileshi moves up a spot from Walker Thomas. Is Matthew David Wood still up in front? Your top 5 as it sits is Matthew David Wood, Andrew Pileshi, Walker Thomas, Zach Lindgren, and Kyle Smalley after a battle with Justin Lewis. He is currently in the 5th spot. The battle for 3rd going on between Walker Thomas and Zach Lindgren. We'll keep an eye out on that, but Lindgren really closing the gap there.
Keeping an eye on action around the track. Number of drivers who have not had fun today. There's already some incidents in the back of the field as they make their way through this course. But up front, as you were saying, Matthew Wood putting up smoking times here and beginning to separate himself from Andrew Pileshi.
Yeah, exactly what he wants to do. And one of the main things at road courses is you got to get some distance between you and the guy in the back, especially if you're running, with 2 laps to go, 3 laps to go, however many it is. You don't want to give anybody the opportunity to dive on. You can see Wood brushes the wall there coming off of the final turn. We'll see if he'll have any damage from that. It won't look like it. It'll look like just a very light scrape of the wall, but so far so good for Matthew Wood, and it's perfect so far as we go through turn 3 and 4 up through the S's.
Based on our initial calculations here, Noah, these guys are going to have to stop at least once. But that should be good. That's based on our mileage estimates. We'll see how that all plays out. But they will need one stop, and it is a road course, so it will be a green flag stop. So.
Yeah, for sure. Well, never say never on any sort of stops here. We know how chaotic Watkins Glen can be, so nothing for sure as of right now. Back up in front, so far perfect from Matthew David Wood. Pileshi really doing a good job here of holding on to that 2nd spot. He came under fire a little while ago from Walker Thomas, and now it is a 4-car battle for 2nd right now between Pileshi, Thomas, Lindgren, and Smalley. All the way in the back, almost a straightaway back. You have Justin Lewis trying to chase down that 2nd pack. He's with Aiden Lucas and Maxwell Caldwell.
Yeah, we're all single file behind him as we navigate around this track. Field is making their way up to the bus stop here at lap 4. We'll watch this group of drivers. It's Lewis, Lucas, Caldwell, Anthony, and Ramirez in this sprint pack. That was mighty clean by Justin Lewis getting through the bus stop.
Yeah, Lewis has been really clean and consistent so far. You can really see how he sets up the corners for that car, kind of throwing his car a little bit to the outside there. Let's take a look here, see how he does it. You can see just a little bit of a flick there to kind of get the car to do what he wants to do. And that's something that we see. You can see the back end of the car wiggle there. That's something we see on a lot of short track drivers. They want to get that rear end loose to get the best entry into that corner, because a lot of the times it's not a way you can make your car go normally. So Justin Lewis put some short track action to work there, and so far he's the only person I've seen on this track doing it, and so far it's working pretty well for him.
Yeah, I want to highlight David Brown here, currently showing in 15th place, but we're only here on lap 5. He has improved 17 positions. He started back in 32nd position. Yeah, and that math
I think he was one of the ones who didn't qualify.
Yeah.
Right now, he has been...
some guys like a challenge. Clearly, he enjoys it.
Yeah, and he's getting ready to get onto the 23 machine of, or trying to get to the 23 machine of Chuck Van Scoik. He's a little bit of a ways back, but if he can gain that ground up that quickly, I have no doubt that he'll be able to get up to that top 10 as soon as he wants to.
Looks like Matthew Wood just turned in the fastest lap so far of the race. Here on lap 4, he recorded a 1:10.052. That is the fastest lap so far of any competitor.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's really shocked. He has the best air. He's been the most consistent so far, and really setting up that car well for the bus stop there.
Just saw the
just perfection so far.
You just saw the 4. That was Matthew Greichen, who just absolutely spun out. He is now in the pits. It is the benefit of iRacing. You don't have to wait for a wrecker to come and pick you up and take you back. You can press a button or two and wind up being teleported directly to your pit.
One of the things to note here that is a little bit unique about Watkins Glen is where the pit road is. A lot of times on circle tracks, on oval tracks that we go to, the pit road is on the left side. These cars are set up differently, so if you look on the right side of the car, that is where you're going to get your fuel. So that little circle you're seeing on the left side of some of these cars is normally where the fuel would go. For this race only, it has been switched to the other side.
Good point.
So far, Matthew David Wood, our fastest car of the race, 109.6 is his best so far, and just blazing fast for him. I mean, no doubt that he'll be up in front later on. What was the pit cycle time? When did we expect guys to start coming down pit road?
Sometime around lap 27, we believe that we should begin to see drivers come down. But really, since it's a 40 lap event, really any time after lap 20, you can split it and choose to pit early and come in, or any time after. So sometime between lap 20 and 27 is your window.
All right.
Looking around the track here, obviously that's Matthew. Let's go ahead and jump down to Jared Wishon in this group behind. This is Jared is currently running in 10th in that 17 Ford.
And that's a Hornet's Nest back there from about 9th on back. Really good spacing between these guys, but one mess up and you can lose a lot of spots really quickly on a road course. And right now that's what Jared Wishon's trying to do. Look at Ty Bostic there. He's back in the 16th spot.
He's been fighting himself.
He's been fighting for a playoff spot all season long. He has a pretty comfortable points spot right now in the playoff bracket. Still searching for that elusive first win of the season. So Ty Bostic really trying to just get his way through, survive until the playoffs come around, and he has that security of being locked in.
We didn't cover it, but we probably should just quickly touch on the current standings. All of these guys, 1 through 11, have won races to get themselves in. But as you stated, Ty Bostic is right there. I think with just 2 races left, next week we will be at Auto Club and followed by Daytona. Really, Ty Bostic is safe. Chuck Van Scoik is safe. I think really Sammy Harrell and William Corinne are really, they're in the hot spot.
Yeah, Christoph Hall as well. Keep an eye out on Paul. I think I just heard some tires squealing in the background. Let's see what's going on there. Back up in front here, it is all Matthew David Wood. Way wide there, coming through the chute, and so far it's been perfect to him, and he's already coming up on lap cars.
Yeah, with the way that he has been racing, it's expected he's going to run up on I think David Watts there. We've got one retiree so far. I think Zach Allen has called it a day. But he's about to run up on the 54 of David Watts, who is the last car currently on the lead lap. This is where it's always challenging. You could have the best lap, but you wind up in, unfortunately, the wrong spot with lap times. With lap cars, that benefits the guy behind, that's Andrew Pileshi. And more importantly, you got to make sure that nothing happens to yourself.
Yeah, and lap cars, especially in any form of racing, are what a lot of drivers feel. You see David Watts way off the track there, but it really is something you've got to watch out. I mean, granted, they do have to move at some point, but you really have got to have a good race in mind on where to pass and where am I going to lose the least amount of time getting around these guys. And so far on this road course here, they're doing a good job of that.
Yeah, top three made it through pretty cleanly. Wood, Pileshi, and Thomas, they made it through that first bit of lap cars, but they're going to be on top of lap cars for, well, from now on.
Yeah, looks like Pileshi has gained a little bit of time. He's not within striking distance just yet, but he has gained a pretty significant amount of time. Walker Thomas with the dive way down the inside. Really good move there. The gap between Wood and Pileshi has gone, last lap it was 2.5 seconds. It's now 1.7. So Pileshi really turning the jets on here as we're just past the double-digit lap mark.
Yeah, these lap cars have not been a good thing for the 21 of Matthew Wood. He has had to deal with some stragglers there at the tail end of the lead lap. His next competitor that he will come up on will be the 15 of Garrett Johnson. Number of drivers have made trips to pit road. Alex Linney, Sammy Harrell is in the pits, as is Jordan Weaver and Greg Stone. Just watching Wyatt Gray, who kind of went off track a bit, keeping an eye on that 71 as he tries to make his way and navigate around this track.
Yeah, gap going up and down between Wood and Pileshi, and I think it's just a game of consistency. One guy will have a great lap, the other one won't, and so far that's what we're seeing between Wood and Pileshi, and this looks like this is going to be, for the rest of the day, the battle for the lead if they can keep it clean. But don't count out Walker Thomas. He's been lurking back there behind Andrew Pileshi very patiently, and that was one of our keys to the races. You just have to be smart and not overdrive your car. As we say down south, you can't get too big for your britches, especially at a track like this. So keep an eye out on Walker Thomas. He's closing the gap a little bit to Andrew Pileshi for second.
Let's go ahead and jump on board with Andrew Pileshi and let him take us through this track.
Let's do it.
Good run through the S's as he makes his way towards the bus stop.
You can see they're way hard on the brakes all the way up in fifth gear, almost 110 miles an hour there through those corners, and you can see back in his rearview mirror definitely something you don't want to see is someone starting to bear down on you. So keep an eye out there on Thomas. See how fast they get down the one of the many straightaways here, almost 160, almost 170 miles an hour, all the way down to 9. It's a very fast road course here. At Watkins Glen for sure.
He is not playing this conservatively at all. He is letting it all hang out.
Yeah, and he just wants to go. He's hungry for that top spot, and he wants to get there for sure. And something interesting we saw him get to fifth gear on that straightaway. On the front straightaway, you get to just barely the top end of fourth gear.
Solid run here by Andrew Pileshi. Check it out, Matthew Wood. He's about to run up on top of Cody Sturgill in the 64. Catches him really at a good place to get by.
Yeah, Wood doing a really good job there. Kind of going wide just a little bit, but not affecting his time at all. Just staying within that 2.5 range there. So really consistent from Matthew Wood. We'll see if he can keep it going. We're just getting to a couple laps away from pit cycle.
Yeah, 15 laps in the books. We should expect them anytime.
Up into 3 seconds now. Looks like where he's struggling, just from what I've seen, that gap tends to go down in that final sector there. You can see it starts to dip there. We'll see if it'll continue. But Matthew Wood just perfection so far, and he's coming up on lap cars once again.
All right, Matthew Wood continues to lead here in the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Cup Series. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You won't miss a thing. We'll be going side by side. We will be right back.
Hello, my name is Jack Raymondson. I manage business development here at Tech4Troops, and I'm my second year with this amazing veteran nonprofit owned and operated by veterans for veterans. I served in the U.S. Marine Corps as an amphibious assault crewman from 1992 to 1996. I also served in the U.S. Coast Guard from 2002 to 2007, joining after 9/11 as an operations specialist, then serving as an instructor at Coast Guard Training Center, Yorktown. I also spent many years as a first responder volunteering as an EMT and fireman. I'm here at Tech4Troops because I believe in our mission to empower veterans and their families with the gift of computers and technology training, as well as our outreach to help curb veteran suicide while providing a safe and meaningful community where veterans are treated with respect and dignity. We are aiming for zero veteran suicide through gaming and other program opportunities. We help veterans regain a new sense of purpose and help them see they have a brighter future ahead of them. It truly is an honor and my pleasure to serve my fellow veterans and help give them a leg up. 2024 is Tech4Troops' 10th anniversary year, and I ask that you help us support our veterans and their families with a computer donation and or greatly needed financial contribution so we can help every last veteran in need. Together, you and Tech4Troops can be change makers. Thank you.
All right, while we were away, Matthew Wood has made his way onto pit road and is out for his stop with 24 laps to go.
Yeah, definitely a little early from what we've seen. He gets out now. He's a little bit of a ways back here. He is currently in the 10th spot right now, but Andrew Pileshi and Walker Thomas now is going to be your battle for the lead here. It's heating up as Walker Thomas starting to bear down on Pileshi.
Now, obviously, these guys are just coming in right now. They're pitting, so right now, Andrew Pileshi, Walker Thomas on pit road. I think, I could be wrong, Noah, but I think they could actually go farther as you see Zach Lindgren, Kyle Smalley, and others continue on around. I think they're just taking the opportunity to knock out this pit stop and then go on from there.
Yeah, and bear in mind, too, they started with 75% fuel, so unfortunately we can't see how much they've used so far. I would assuming they're starting to get there. Tires, I don't think would be starting to go away as early as right now, but we see some 4-tire stops there, taking some fuel as well, and I think that's pretty much it. These guys are going to be just good to go for the rest of this race here and see if they can hold on to the rest of these tires.
All right, up front right now, Zach Lindgren and Kyle Smalley are out in front here at the Go Bowling at the Glen in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. Again, our last road course before we hit the playoffs. And a great opportunity, if you love a road course, to really let it all hang out.
We got a car in the barrier back there. behind Andrew Pileshi, that's Roberto Ramirez. He's backwards trying to get that car back right.
Still facing the wrong direction as he tries to get this car turned around. Looking for a gap, I guess, to spin it around. Or not. But
I think he found a gap. He's going to use it.
all right. The 41 is back underway. Get the top 5 or so have not pitted. That's Lindgren, Smalley, Lucas, Wishin, Caldwell have not been down onto pit road. We're coming close to the halfway point. Yeah, I really thought you could, pretty much go a little bit farther, but again, what we're seeing is that the leaders decided that they'll just pit early.
Yeah, really interesting strategy from these guys, and we'll see if it'll pay off towards the end of the night. But picture perfect for Walker Thomas, the exact start he wanted, and he comes out ahead of, or just behind Matthew David Wood. So keep an eye out on those two as this battle continues.
Both Smalley and Wishin both on pit road.
Well, Thomas way loose there.
Your current leader is Zach Lindgren. He's got the 0 of Weaver behind him.
15 car around.
It's Garrett Johnston.
He took a big spill there.
Yep. He's got potentially some suspension damage. Can't really tell on that 15. The 5 of Lindgren is really just, the 05 of Lindgren is basically just by himself. He's got about a 12-second gap between himself and Aiden Lucas, but he has found himself surrounded by a lot of lap cars as he makes his way down onto pit road.
Yeah, keeping an interesting time for these pit cycles here. About now is when I would have expected, but not as early as lap 17. So some interesting strategy calls all the way around. But so far, Aiden Lucas, the man up in front. Zach Lindgren, Matthew Wood, Maxwell Caldwell, Thomas Pileshi. That's your top 6 right now as this run goes on.
See, Matthew Wood has basically found himself. He is right back in it. Now up to 2nd with Maxwell Caldwell. Again, as we stated earlier, Aiden Lucas has not pit at this time, and neither has Maxwell Caldwell. The drivers that he was battling, that Matthew was battling earlier, Walker Thomas and Andrew Pileshi, are just a few seconds behind.
Yeah, Lindgren just came out of the pits as we speak. And Aiden Lucas back there as well. It is Matthew David Wood. He's trying to get by. He's by Maxwell Caldwell, and he's got Ryan Cook in his sights, who is a lap car as well.
All right, Matthew Wood's last lap time. We'll bring up some lap times here. Now, interesting enough, Matthew Wood went in and took 4 tires and fuel. Walker Thomas, who went in, took fuel only.
Wow, and he definitely has some confidence in his tire saving ability, I guess. Definitely I wouldn't say odd strategy, but definitely a different strategy for sure. You would expect at least right sides.
He is the only driver, and I'm judging on his pit cycle time of only 8.37. My guess is he only took fuel.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see if he can hold on to those Goodyear Eagles long enough. And especially at a track like this. I wouldn't say tires aren't important, but you definitely are going to want that grip.
All right, Aiden Lucas now makes his way down onto pit road, which puts Matthew Wood back on top here in Watkins Glen.
Yeah, you can just see the gap there between him and Thomas, and Wood really just wanting to run away with it now. He's got 18 laps to do it, which comes out to about 20 minutes to go in this race, and we'll see if he can pull it off. But so far, Matthew Wood, perfect all night. We'll see if he can continue that. There's John Ledger off into the grass there. We've seen that a couple times today so far, not from leaders, but some mid-pack cars. A couple cars have done that from decent positions, so we'll see if these guys can keep it out of the grass ideally and keep it on the racing surface. But Matthew Wood, so far, picture perfect night for him, and he is really wanting to get this win out of the way.
Here's an interesting fact. See, Philip Van Nortwick in the 24, he has not pitted. Neither has Justin Horton. Neither has Todd Merkel. So there is plenty of fuel in that car. Now with 17 laps to go, they're able to get, that's 23 laps so far in, which is right about where we were thinking that they would be coming into the pit.
So I saw a car go wide by there. Yeah, really interesting strategy from Van Nortwick, and I'm kind of shocked that car still has as much fuel as it does in it. We'll see when he'll come down pit road. Really interesting call, however.
Cody Sturgill not having a fun day. He's had a little incident off track. He's back on. Pretty good battle happening behind Philip. You see the 42 of Alex Linney going wide, but he's got all kinds of drama happening right there. That's Horton and the 81 of William Corinne, all there. They're nearly 3 wide as he makes his way down onto pit road.
Yeah, we've seen some guys start to make some strategy calls here, as it is Matthew Wood still up in front. He has the fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:10.571. And a 6-second gap between him and Walker Thomas, and he is really wanting to improve on that.
All right, taking a step back, Walker Thomas sitting in second place, running tightly. The battle is there for a second between himself and Andrew Pileshi. That's a great battle between those two drivers. Well, with that note, we're going to take another commercial break while we try to get these in with 16 laps to go. We'll be right back.
All right.
Are you looking for a way to safely and securely dispose of your old electronic devices? Why not donate them to Tech4Troops? Tech4Troops is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to bridging the technology gap for in-need veterans and their families. The donation process is quick and easy. Simply go to tech4troops.org and click on the donate link at the top right-hand side of the page. Scroll down to access the Give Back Box link. To create your shipping label, click Add to Cart and complete the checkout process. The shipping label is good for up to 50 pounds. You can recycle most standard shipping boxes to send in your devices. Oh, don't forget the power cords. Give new life to your old technology by responsibly recycling with Tech4Troops. Help save the environment and support a veteran.
All right, welcome back to Watkins Glen here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. Just 15 laps to go here. Matthew Wood in the 21 has been putting on a road course clinic. He is out in front over second of Andrew Pileshi. Walker Thomas is in third. That's the biggest battle right now on the field for position between these two drivers. They have been battling all day. They swapped position early in the first couple of laps, but they've been nose to tail this whole race.
Yeah, really good battle we've been watching here so far, in that battle for second, not quite heating up, but it has been getting, it's been warm for the last couple of laps here, and Thomas really hungry to try to get by Andrew Pileshi, so keep an eye out on those two guys. But so far so good for Matthew Wood, and he has lost a little bit of time for that gap, but he's still looking to run a really clean race here. He's got about 8 seconds of a lead here, and he pretty much can breathe for the rest of this race.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. No, what we know that what we believe is Walker Thomas made a controversial decision to not take tires at lap 17 when he did have his pit stop. That may come back to bite him. I don't believe he's got the grip to challenge the rest of these guys, but we'll see how. He may know way better than us. So.
Yeah, we can see the last couple of laps that he has been running. He's lost a lot of time to Andrew Pileshi, and I'm sure that has to be a grip thing. But so far, he really is struggling there in that number 1 machine. So keep an eye out on Walker Thomas for that strategy call. We'll see if it'll pay off. But so far, Wood, Pileshi, Thomas, Smalley, your top 4 are all playoff drivers. And then it's Zach Lindgren rounding out the top 5. From 5th on down to 10th, no playoff drivers. And really, we're seeing a lot of non-playoff guys run up front in this top 20 graphic. You see a lot of red names in there. Not too many playoff drivers. And unlike what we saw last week in Atlanta, where pretty much from 1st all the way down to 15th was playoff drivers, you're not seeing that at Watkins Glen today. You're seeing a lot of red names on there who are trying to punch their ticket into the playoffs.
And just like we talked about earlier, the 24 is coming off pit road. He pitted with 27 laps on his tires. So just where we thought, where we had estimated lap 27 was the time, that was when he came in. But he was the last car to come in. So a lot of drivers chose to pit early, make this and split this race up.
Yeah, really impressive that Van Noordwijk lasted that long in that car. So really good job by him securing that pit stop there and just kind of getting out of the way. So good run for Phil Van Noordwijk. Back up in front it is Matthew David Wood, and he has pretty much no one behind him or in front of him as of right now. Only lap cars. Closest car to him is Cody Sturgill down in the 25th spot. It's a really good run for him. Biggest mover so far, driver in the top 10 right now, that is Jared Wisham. He's up from 12th. Ty Bostic from 20th to the 12th spot. So far, really good run for these guys. But Matthew Wood trying to go pole to pole right now. Pileshi up a spot. He started in 3rd. The 2nd and 3rd place cars have swapped spots. Pileshi started 3rd and 2nd. Thomas started 2nd, is in 3rd. Started off the track a little bit there, trying to yield. But Matthew David Wood, I mean, I don't know how much more I can say. Obviously, this race is far from over. But, I mean, perfection, would you say?
Pretty close. Definitely took a very aggressive. I'll say, I've seen a lot of road course drivers. Some are very precise. They don't push the track limits. They try to avoid those rumble strips as best they can. Just keep the nose of that car pointed in the right direction. Matthew, he's hanging out on the edge all the time.
Yeah, and that really is what a lot of teams will like to see out of their guys. Even though they have a decent lead, you never, ever want to let your guard down, and he is just letting it all hang out there. Car way off the pace in the back there. Going down to the turn 1, looks like a big braking issue. But look at Wood here up through the S. You can see he's not cranking the wheel. He is really smooth, really just keeping that car flying. You can see almost in the grass there, and he is really just super aggressive going into these corners here, but concise, clean. He makes that car
he stayed in
where he wants it to go.
He stayed in 3rd gear through that. No, that's really, he knows he's out in front. He didn't have to downshift.
No, and he is just, like you said, letting it all hang out right now.
He's having a counter steer, but he's really on that on the edge.
Right up against that wall there, coming off the final turn, and you can just see how precise he is. He is now crossed to 10 laps remaining here, and he really just can't say more about that. I mean, really clean run so far. No second place car in his rearview mirror as of right now, and good run for Matthew Wood so far.
Well, he pitted last on lap 16. We have 10 laps to go, so he's got really almost 16 laps, 14 laps on these tires. He is really just a second or so off his qualifying time.
Really good run for him so far. And back up to Wood there, and you can see trying to get by, I believe that's the lap car of Johnson there.
Looking, Justin Lewis may have gone off track. Number of drivers, Justin Lewis currently sitting in 8th. They've had some rough going. Number of drivers also got involved. Christoph Hall, Max Caldwell, Marco Berube involved. Not the day Justin Lewis was hoping for, but still, if you can finish here in the top 10, be consistent here at Watkins Glen, that's good points for anyone.
Absolutely, and a driver we haven't talked about a lot today. He's sitting in the 7th spot right now. It's Aiden Lucas. Really good run for him today. He's been quietly sitting in that spot as well. Zach Lindgren as well, only playoff driver outside of that top 5 there, or the only non-playoff driver in that top 5 right now. So good run for these non-playoff guys here in the top 10, and these are definitely going to be some much-needed points.
So Phil Van Norwerk may have gone a little wide on that corner. To the 22 of Ty Bostic there. Ty is running now back in 12th.
Yeah, it's been a good run for Bostic there, and was in the top 10 earlier, has fallen back a little, but good run for Bostic.
Looking at 10th position, that's Chuck Van Scoik in the 23. It's got a number of guys. That's the 42 of Linney in front of him. That's lap down traffic. But he qualified in 15th. He's made his way up to 10th with just 8 laps to go.
Yeah, and you're really running out of time to make up spots here, and with the field as spread out as it is right now, you got cars all over the track. I mean, any spot you can get, you're going to need.
Well, he'll need to get past Alex Linney because that position of 9th is up in front of him. That's Michael Anthony in the 14. He needs to get by Linney and then challenge the 14 for the 9th position. Up ahead, Justin Lewis has got his hands full.
He was trying to chase down Aiden Lucas for the 7th spot. So far, this top 5 is just broken away, really in a world of their own right now. You can see the gap between 3rd and 2nd is almost, 7 seconds there. And you can imagine all the way back through the field. Jared Wishon, 27 seconds back from the top 5. And safe to say they've pulled away, but especially on a road course, you zone out for 1 second and your race can be done for.
Looking back up, Walker Thomas has got his hands full because he's got the 51 of Kyle Smalley. That's a battle for position. These are teammates, Walker Thomas and Kyle Smalley, but they're right there in 3rd and 4th.
Back through here, you have Zach Lindgren, Jared Wisham, Aiden Lucas, Justin Lewis, Michael Anthony, and Chuck Van Scoik. Good run for Van Scoik today. I haven't talked a lot about him, but he's doing good in the 10th spot now, by Maxwell Caldwell. Then it's Ty Bostic, Wyatt Gray, William Corinne, Aaron Jackson, and that rounds out your top 15 here at Watkins Glen. And Walker Thomas, he's going to be under fire soon.
Well,
from Kyle Smalley. Is under fire from Kyle Smalley.
And Zach Lindgren. That's right there. All 3 of them. That's all for position. They are battling it out 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yeah, I feel like if you could go inside his helmet and see what Thomas is thinking, he's thinking, I really should have taken those 4 tires. He is just really under threat now. Tries to make a dive down to the inside. Can't quite get there. And this is a really good points battle right here. You see, look, he gets a little bit loose there through the rumble strips, up through the S's. We'll see if they'll make a move into the bus stop.
Yeah, nose to tail, these 3, Thomas, Smalley, and Lindgren, as they come out of the S's.
He backed off a lot there. So far, nothing happening through the bus stop. We'll see. I think he's just waiting for Thomas to make a mistake, and that really is what Smalley's trying to do. He's just bearing down on him, and a lot of times in racing, just the presence of another driver can be enough to unnerve you and just throw you off balance because you're watching him. You're having to watch ahead of you. It looks like the move down here. Can he make it? No. Good momentum around the outside for Thomas.
51 tried so hard to find a spot for him, make his way around, but he's challenging. That 51 is right there. Look at these 3 wide, potentially amongst these drivers.
Yeah, and they're really fighting for it. They're just now 5 laps to go. Move down there. No, he can't make it. Big move from Thomas, and look at those brake rotors glowing.
He tried
way off track, and Thomas loses those spots.
Yeah, he tried to shut the door and ended up getting off course.
2 wide through the S is really risky business there between Lindgren and Smalley. We'll see if they can grab it up through there. Lindgren with the spot now. We'll see how long that'll last through the bus stops. Here comes Smalley around the outside. We'll see where the momentum is down into the bus stops. Really good move there from Smalley. Completely gets around. And we got a car around there. That's a 55 machine of Ryan Kendrick. He has a meatball flag, so he has some damage he'll have to come in and fix. But Kyle Smalley finds himself in 3rd after a brutal battle with Zach Lindgren, and these are the points that he has been looking for all night long.
All right, just 4 laps to go here. We're going to take our final commercial break. We appreciate you tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network.
When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech4Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech4Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job and I was out on the street. The computer was able to connect me to the web, and I was able to start putting resumes out. And you have to have these small building blocks to get from point A to point B. I'm not worried about employment anymore.
The need is great, and we want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
All right, welcome back to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Go Bowling at the Glen here in Watkins Glen. Just 3 laps to go. Matthew Wood continues to lead here, but that's not the story. The story is how Andrew Paleschi is right there and how Kyle Smalley is battling Zach Lindgren to try and take and hold on to 3rd place.
Yeah, and an interesting point you mentioned during the break as well. The entire top 5 started inside the top 5. Wood started 1st, Paleschi started 3rd, Smalley 5th, Lindgren 4th. He's in the 4th spot right now, and Thomas started in the 2nd spot. He's in the 5th. So this top 5 right here, really just the dominant field all day long, and Wood has just put on an absolute clinic on this field so far.
Certainly has, as Smalley and Lindgren make their way around the 14 of Aaron Jackson. These guys deal with lap cars. Sorry, the 12 of Aaron Jackson. Sorry. Yep, just a couple laps to go here. Matthew Wood continues to show us the way. He's got, he's got nearly 12 seconds between himself and the second place of Andrew Pileshi. He gets the white flag.
Is out.
Yep.
Let's go back to that battle with Smalley and Lindgren there. Looks like that was starting to heat up just a little bit. This will be a really good finish right here as they come to take the white flag here. Yeah, this is we're definitely going to see a pass here in the next couple of laps, or at least some hard defense.
We've got just one lap left here for Smalley and Lindgren. Lindgren needs to get around him. The 81 of there as well. He goes wide. He lets those drivers make it through. Good sportsmanship there by William Curran.
Here they come, looking high, looking low, not quite down almost into the wall there. In grass goes Zach Lindgren. He is needing these points bad, not locked into the playoffs. Every point is going to mean something to that 05 machine. Let's see if he can get it down here into the carousel. Looking around the outside now. Will he try to make a switchback here? Down the second straightaway. We'll see if he can make a move here. Looking high, looks low, nowhere to go. May see a dive bomb here. Well, off the final turn, it is Matthew David Wood dominating this race. Andrew Pileshi finishes second. We'll see a run down to the finish here. Big block from Smalley. He will grab the third spot. It is Zach Lindgren fourth and Walker Thomas in fifth. And what a battle we saw there. And Matthew Wood, you can absolutely burn it down. What a dominant race for him.
He's going to wind up potentially getting involved with some of these other drivers as they come through turn one. This field is pretty spread out.
Nearly missing him there, and some celebratory crashing for these guys, and congratulations there from Lewis. And what a race for Matthew Wood.
Yeah, we'll have to wait for the rest of the field to kind of make it back across that start-finish line before we can bring you the final results. If I'm Matthew Wood, I'm thinking you may be out on the track a little early. I would kind of hold off a bit. As
everybody's saying, where is everybody?
All right, we've got results. Let's bring that up.
All right, our top 10 here today is Matthew Wood at a dominating finish by 11 seconds. He will win tonight's race. It is Andrew Pileshi, Kyle Smalley, Zach Lindgren, Walker Thomas, Jared Wishon, Aiden Lucas, Justin Lewis, Michael Anthony, and Chuck Van Scoik. That rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, good finish for the 23 of Van Scoik. So Max Caldwell finishes in 11th, Ty Bostic in 12th, Wyatt Gray in 13th, Aaron Jackson in 14th, William Curran Jr. in 15th, Christoph Hall in 16th, John Ledger in 17th, Ryan D. Cook in 18th, 19th is Justin Horton, and Alex Linney finishes in 20th.
Phil Van Nortwick will round out the 21st spot. It is Tom Merkel, Garrett Johnston, Cody Sturgill, Marco Berube, Ryan Kendrick, and Jordan Weaver. Rounding out the rest of this field is Luke Bullard, Roberto Ramirez, David Watts, Jeremy Brown, Sammy Harrell, Greg Stone, Zachary Allen, Matthew Gretchen, and David L. Brown.
All right, let's see if we can find someone to interview. I think we can. Let's grab Kyle Smalley. Kyle, congratulations on your third place finish. Man, you were holding off Zach Lindgren right there to the final lap.
Yeah, thanks, guys. That was definitely a fun race with Zach. Me and him go back, I don't know, a few years now, and we've had a bunch of close races. So it's always fun battling with Zach, but I wish Walker would have taken 3 or 4 tires on that that pit stop. Because that's the only reason I passed him. But I felt fast at the end, but I wasn't close enough to pass Walker on straight speed if he took tires.
Yeah, we were looking as we were watching through our telemetry and analysis. We saw that his time is an 8.37 stop, and like, oh man, he chose not to take tires. That was a heck of a gamble. I think it was a short-term gain, but overall tough at the end.
Yeah, I did like 15 laps in practice, and my left front was like at 54%. So I knew right there and there, that we were going to need to take at least 4 tires, if not just 2 less. But I figured 2 less would be a weird bias on the tires.
Well, certainly congratulations though on your finish. Good showing for tonight. But this is our last road course. We head to Auto Club next.
Yeah, I feel like I've had a pretty good run of these road courses this year. I won Road America, and I think I've gotten top 5, if not top 10s in the rest of the races. But yeah, going next week to Auto Club's one of my favorite races or favorite tracks. Curious to see how the new tire model and aero package works there with all the dirty air. Hopefully we'll be able to run at least 5 lanes wide, so that should be a fun watch.
Absolutely. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, everybody at Balls Out Racing. It's always fun racing with these guys every week. You guys for broadcasting, Elite Designs, Circle B Diecast, Elliot for putting on the league, Tech4Troops, and that's about it.
All right. Well, there's your third place finisher tonight here at Watkins Glen. That's Kyle Smalley. And with that,
Thanks,
we'll
guys.
bring in, you're welcome. We'll bring in to the broadcast booth, Mr. Andrew Pileshi. Andrew, congratulations on your finish, man. Great race.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was kind of lights out there. Didn't really have much for Matthew there. He was flying.
Yeah, we saw Matthew put up some amazing times in the practice session. And, even through the race, I know you were in, we watched both yourself and Matt, really all the guys in the top 5. No one was taking it easy. Y'all were letting it hang out the whole race.
Yeah, I was just trying to, at the beginning part, I was really pushing because I was trying to run away from Walker and maybe hope something was going to slow down Matthew. And then we got to that pit stop and it just kind of ran into traffic, and you know how it goes. It just kind of spread everybody out. But yeah, I was really driving as hard as I could there. And so you got to really let it all hang out at this track to be quick. So.
Well,
Yeah.
no slouch to come in second here at Watkins Glen. Great race, great finish for you for sure.
Yeah, it just sucks. You know what I mean? Second sucks. Like, I've been trying forever to get one of these wins at a road course, and bridesmaid once again. But maybe we'll get them. We got one more this year, so maybe we can do it at Charlotte.
Absolutely. Well, next week we'll be at Auto Club for our event there. With thoughts on Auto Club?
One of my favorite tracks. A lot of really good racing there. It's a shame you don't run there anymore in real life. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Hoping to run pretty well there. It'll be a good time.
Sounds great. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, Tech4Troops sponsoring the league. Elliot, everything he does. Everybody that races here. It's a great league. It's so much fun. The competition is just insane here. My team, the 1320 guys, Max, Todd, Justin, those guys, they all brought home a couple of decent finishes, I think. And you guys up in the booth, like I said, love watching these back. And I've been getting to come up here a lot. I feel privileged, so I'm going to hopefully keep. I'd like to keep coming back. So
yeah, don't make yourself a stranger. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to.
All right, there's your second place finisher tonight. That's Andrew Pileshi. And with that, we will welcome the man, the myth, the legend, Matthew Wood into the broadcast booth. Matthew, congratulations.
Thank you, brother. It was pretty fun out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Put yourself on the pole, didn't leave the pole pretty much the whole night.
Yeah, I felt like the track was definitely quicker than I've had all week. Had another league race here last Sunday, and I think the fastest I ran was 10 flat. So to run a 9-4 in qualifying was very, very quick. And I think the track was definitely a lot cooler. And I like a cooler racetrack personally. I think I can be more precise on a cooler racetrack, but that's just my opinion. I think a hotter racetrack brings a better racing product. But either way, I've been doing Watkins Glen quite a bit, and not my favorite road course of all time, but I think what really helped this effort was me and my team AG Motorsports. We did the 6 hours at the Glen and won earlier this year. I think we lapped the field, if I'm not mistaken. So we had a lot of fun there. So I think that definitely helped.
Yeah, you clearly came in with a lot of good experience for sure.
Now we know a magician obviously never supposed to tell his secrets, but what was the secret to tonight's race? I mean, you pretty much dominated. No one really had anything all night long. What was your secret to dominating?
Just being consistent. Consistency is at a road course is 100% key, and not over slipping, because especially in the next gen, because once you get your tires overheated, it's almost impossible to get this thing's tires cooled back down. So just trying to be as smooth as I can with a kind of faulty gas pedal. It's modulating when I get halfway, but hopefully I can get some new ones soon. And yeah, definitely enjoyed tonight.
Well, again, congratulations on your win. Of course, next week we will be at Auto Club. That will be one of the last two races before we move into the playoffs. Thoughts on Auto Club?
I think I'll have a good shot at Auto Club. I've done good, pretty good there in the past, and Chicagoland is kind of, in my eyes, hand in hand with it, and not fully, but I definitely like Chicagoland, and especially in this car, where dirty air is such a big problem at places like Dover or these one-lane tracks. You can run all the way up to the wall. So I think we're going to see an absolutely incredible opportunity. But again, thanks to Outlier Speed Co. They've done a lot of good things for me. Prosper Engineering and JB Designs, you guys, for what you do. And anybody that's out there watching me, Audrey, anybody that's out there, and thank the Lord for what He's done for me and what He always will. And we'll come back next week.
Sounds great. Well, again, congratulations, Matthew, on your win, and we'll see you next week at Auto Club.
Thank you.
You got it. Well, Noah, that kind of wraps up our race here at Watkins Glen. Clearly a road course clinic by Mr. Wood, but some great finishes turned in by Pileshi, Smalley, and those just outside the top three, Lindgren and Thomas.
Yeah, for sure. And to the end there, it really turned in a really good show between Smalley and Lindgren, the battle for the coveted IWM booth interview third spot. Really good seeing that. But a lot of interesting results up in here. You have Aiden Lucas and a good run for Chuck Van Scoik. He's definitely has been needing one of those in that number 23 machine. But that's the thing about these road courses. You see a lot of guys who you may not see up in front at half miles or short tracks or mile and a half tracks do good here. And that's what we saw at a couple of these guys, but just an absolute clinic by Matthew Wood. And he definitely deserves that win tonight.
Absolutely. All right. From Noah and myself, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Go Bowling at the Glen event won by tonight, Matthew Wood. We hope to see you next week at Auto Club. Tomorrow night, we will be back here at Watkins Glen for the INRS Racing event, and hope to see you then. So for Noah and myself, we thank you and good night.